Hot news auditing our auditors RealClearPolitics. The Roman satirist Juvenal, in a famous passage, asked, "Who?" That problem of policing the police has troubled Western thinkers from Plato to the American founders. The framers of the Constitution set in place a brilliant series of legislative, executive, and judicial checks and balances to thwart the abuse of power by the powerful. Their pessimistic, the sexual abuse crises within the contemporary Catholic Church arose from the de facto exemptions from the law given to priests. Too many assume. One of the ironic things about the Me Too movement was that some of the worst offenders were powerful progressive men such as Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein, NBC host Matt Lauer and PBS interviewer Charlie Rose. They all apparently, some of the feminist organizers of the recent Women's March, such as Tamika Mallory and Linda Sarsour, have been linked to racist and anti-Semitic Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. They apparently given President Trump's unconventional background, his wheeler-dealer past and the hatred he incurs from the left, few ever give him the benefit of the doubt. The paradoxical, half the country apparently believes Trump cannot be trusted. The result is, in contrast, his most frequent accusers the media have set themselves up as the country's moral paragon. Journalists. The result of such self-righteous moral exemption has led to journalism's nadir, with an unprecedented lack of public confidence in the media. Fake. Recently, BuzzFeed, which first published the unsubstantiated Steele dossier, alleged that there was proof Trump had ordered his erstwhile lawyer, convicted felon Michael Cohen, to lie. One of the no matter. Cormier and Leah. After a few hours, the BuzzFeed yarn drew a rare rebuke from special counsel Robert Mueller's team, which disputed the veracity of the story. The Department of Justice and the FBI are supposed to be our preeminent guardians of justice. But former director, on 245 occasions in sworn testimony before Congress, Comey answered that he either did not know the answers to questions or could not remember the details of events. Had any private, but Comey apparently surmised that even fired FBI directors are somehow still exempt from the sort of demands the agency makes of others. With Mueller, the question is not whether he should investigate possible Russian collusion in the 2016 election, but whether we need a special counsel to oversee the conduct of Mueller's team itself. Peter Strzok, a former member of Mueller's team, violated a number of ethical protocols. He was romantic. One of Mueller's top prosecutors, Andrew Weissmann, was warned in August 2016 by Bruce Orr, a former Associate Deputy Attorney General, about the suspect, biased and unverified nature of the Steele dossier. But Weissmann call it karma or attribute it to Nemesis, the Greek goddess of retribution, but when anyone assumes that they should be uniquely above all suspicion, they will eventually earn suspicion. See 2019 Tribune Content Agency, LLC. Victor Davis Hanson is a classicist and historian at the Hoover Institution, Stanford University. His latest book
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.